At every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
They're abandoning the classic, story framework for this girl-bossified version.
Disney's live-action Snow White was supposed to pay tribute to a timeless classic, but instead, it's spiraling into chaos. With hundreds of thousands of dislikes and furious fans demanding a boycott, even CEO Bob Iger is caught in the storm. How did this beloved fairy tale become one of Disney's biggest scandals yet? In 1937, Walt Disney forever changed cinema with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This wasn't just a film, it was a revolutionary achievement as the first ever feature-length animated movie. It redefined animation, combining heartfelt storytelling with groundbreaking techniques. For millions, Snow White wasn't mere entertainment, it was an emotional journey. A timeless fairy tale brimming with magic, danger, and whimsy, it enchanted both children and adults alike. This masterpiece laid the foundation for Disney's global empire, becoming a cultural landmark still celebrated more than 80 years later. Given its legendary status, the announcement of a live-action remake ignited excitement and nostalgia among fans. Many envisioned a modern reimagining that would honor the original's essence while introducing fresh elements for a new generation. The expectation was crystal clear: stay true to the heart of the beloved classic, but elevate it with today's storytelling and cinematic advances. After all, Disney had successfully walked this tightrope before, with remakes like The Jungle Book and Cinderella, both praised for respecting the originals while offering a fresh perspective. However, the live-action Snow White quickly went off the rails, leaving countless fans feeling betrayed. From the moment production details and leaked images surfaced, the remake stirred controversy. This wasn't just about modernization. It seemed like the creative choices were stripping away the magic of the original.
Hard to believe that the evil queen is jealous of Snow White's beauty in this film.
The decision to replace the iconic Seven Dwarfs with CGI magical creatures was slammed as lifeless and uninspired, with critics arguing it erased the charm and individuality that made the original characters so beloved. Adding to the backlash, statements from the film's lead actress, dismissing the original story as outdated, only poured gasoline on the fire. For audiences who grew up treasuring Snow White as the quintessential Disney experience, these changes felt more like a disrespectful departure than a heartfelt update. What was meant to honor a timeless masterpiece instead came across as disconnected, sparking heated debates over whether Disney was losing touch with its legacy. When the trailer for the live-action Snow White dropped, it generated buzz, but not the kind Disney had hoped for. Instead, it unleashed a backlash of epic proportions. Fans flooded the internet with their unfiltered opinions, and they weren't kind. One of the most hotly debated decisions in the remake was replacing the Seven Dwarfs with CGI magical creatures. In an effort to modernize the story and avoid stereotypes, Disney swapped out the original dwarfs, characters that had been essential to the charm and emotional depth of the 1937 classic. Fans were quick to argue that this change felt unnecessary, stripping the story of its heart. The CGI replacements were widely criticized as soulless and uninspired, a far cry from the unique and beloved personalities of Doc, Grumpy, and the rest of the original group. This creative choice not only alienated longtime fans, but also sparked questions about whether Disney had lost its ability to honor the magic of its legacy. Another major source of controversy was the perceived heavy-handed focus on social messaging. While many agree that inclusivity and diversity are vital in storytelling, fans felt that Disney's approach with Snow White put messaging above entertainment. Instead of embracing what made the original timeless, a whimsical fairy tale filled with danger, magic, and redemption, the remake seemed more concerned with pushing a modern agenda. For fans, this felt like a departure from Disney's strength, creating stories that resonate with audiences of all ages through universal themes and emotional depth. The casting of Rachel Zegler as Snow White and Gal Gadot as the Evil Queen initially seemed like bold, exciting choices. Zegler had gained acclaim for her performance in West Side Story, and Gadot was a global icon thanks to her role as Wonder Woman. At first, fans hoped their star power would breathe fresh life into the classic. But the excitement quickly soured, turning into backlash as the casting choices became a central point of criticism surrounding the live-action remake. Rachel Zegler's public comments about the original 1937 Snow White film sparked outrage among fans. She described the classic as dated and dismissed its themes as irrelevant for modern audiences. To many, these remarks felt like a direct insult to a cherished piece of Disney history. Snow White wasn't just a fairy tale, it was a groundbreaking moment in animation, beloved by generations. Fans saw her comments as dismissive, almost as if she looked down on the character she was set to portray. Adding to the backlash, Ziegler hinted at a radically reimagined Snow White, one who wouldn't dream of love or need saving. While her intention may have been to promote the film's modern twist, her tone struck a nerve with audiences who adored the original's magic, simplicity, and timeless appeal. The situation only worsened with Rachel Ziegler's social media interactions. Instead of easing the backlash, her responses often came across as defensive or even antagonistic. Fans felt she was out of touch with their concerns, and her comments seemed to widen the gap between the audience and Disney's vision for the remake. Calls for her to be recast began to circulate, with many arguing she wasn't suited to represent a character so deeply tied to Disney's legacy. Gal Gadot, on the other hand, faced a different type of criticism. Fans were initially intrigued by her casting as the evil queen. Her glamorous and heroic image made her an unconventional yet exciting choice for such a dark, menacing role. However, as trailers and test screenings emerged, doubts about her performance began to grow. Critics described her portrayal as overly theatrical, with exaggerated expressions that veered into caricature. Fans questioned whether her polished, heroic image as Wonder Woman clashed with the sinister and complex nature of the evil queen. To some, it felt like Disney was leaning on Gadot's star power to mask deeper problems with the film's creative direction. The controversy surrounding both actresses underscored a larger issue. Fans felt Disney's casting choices signaled a major disconnect between the studio's vision and the expectations of its audience. What should have been a marketing triumph turned into a public relations disaster. Instead of generating excitement, the casting decisions only intensified the backlash, driving an even wider wedge between Disney and its already skeptical fanbase. Bob Iger's legacy as Disney's CEO is filled with remarkable accomplishments. He guided the company through its most successful years, overseeing the acquisitions of massive brands like Pixar, Marvel, and Lucasfilm. Under his leadership, Disney became an entertainment giant, boasting an unmatched portfolio of beloved franchises. Yet, the Snow White debacle has presented a challenge like no other, casting a shadow over his otherwise impeccable career. The backlash against Snow White has put Iger in a tough spot. Reports suggest he is seriously frustrated with the film's creative direction, which has turned into a full-blown PR nightmare. The movie has been slammed at every step, from its initial announcement to the trailer drop, followed by 5 failed test screenings and an overwhelming wave of online backlash. The film's negative reception is unlike anything Disney has experienced in recent memory. Insiders say Iger has ordered last-minute changes to try and salvage the project, but these quick fixes have done little to ease the storm. The controversy continues to rage on, leaving Disney struggling to regain control. This controversy carries far-reaching consequences for both Iger's leadership and Disney's future. Iger has long been praised for championing diversity and inclusivity in storytelling, an approach that has drawn both admiration and criticism. While these efforts align with shifting cultural norms, they've also sparked a debate about whether Disney's focus on representation is coming at the expense of solid storytelling. The financial impact of this strategy is becoming impossible to ignore. With disappointing box office numbers and a shrinking market cap, the company may be facing a need for serious recalibration. On top of that, Iger's planned retirement in 2026 means the stakes couldn't be higher. If Snow White fails to connect with audiences, it could tarnish his legacy and prompt questions about the company's direction under his leadership. This controversy has reignited discussions among shareholders and fans about whether Disney is out of touch with its audience. Iger's ability to navigate this crisis will be a defining moment in his career as fans and critics alike eagerly watch to see if Disney can reclaim its footing. For Iger, the Snow White debacle isn't just about one movie. It's a reflection of the larger challenges facing Disney as he nears the end of his tenure. The success or failure of this film could serve as a symbol for Disney's ability to adapt to a shifting cultural and entertainment landscape. The next few months will be crucial in determining if Iger's leadership can weather the storm and restore confidence in Disney's brand. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are vital in today's storytelling. Audiences are more diverse than ever, and representation in media is key to making everyone feel seen and valued. Disney has led the charge, integrating these principles into many of its recent projects. However, the backlash surrounding Snow White has raised questions about whether the company is striking the right balance. Fans have criticized Disney for prioritizing social messaging over entertainment value in Snow White, with many feeling the changes came off as forced and disconnected from the essence of the original. One of the most talked about changes, the replacement of the 7 dwarfs with CGI magical creatures, drew significant backlash. While the decision was likely made with good intentions, it left many feeling the remake lacked the charm and emotional depth that made the original so beloved. For fans who hold Disney classics close to their hearts, these changes felt unnecessary and out of place. However, it's important to remember that inclusivity and great storytelling don't have to be at odds. Films like Coco and Zootopia prove that it's possible to address important social issues while still preserving the narrative charm and emotional depth that audiences crave. The issue with Snow White lies in its execution. Fans felt the film focused more on delivering a message than on crafting a story that truly captivated viewers. This approach made the changes seem performative rather than authentic, leaving audiences feeling disconnected. The debate over Snow White taps into a larger cultural conversation about how to update classic stories for modern times. Some argue that adaptations should stay faithful to the original material, preserving the elements that made them beloved in the first place. Others believe updates are crucial to reflect contemporary values and broaden representation. The real challenge is finding the right balance. Audiences want diversity, but they also want stories that feel real and compelling. So, what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And make sure to subscribe for more on the latest celebrity news and all the behind-the-scenes drama. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.